We are live, ma'am.
Good morning, all the icons. How are you doing? With your tests done, exams, trimesters, or stand test, whatever it was, with that done, and from today, the PTM starting, I'm sure by now we've come a long way in understanding how to go about with the learning processes of Silver Oaks. I'm saying long way because you've had something like 100 days to learn what is Silver Oaks all about, how the teaching learning processes are happening here. So today, me and Uma ma'am, we are both here to congratulate all of you. Uma ma'am, are you there?
Yes, good morning, all of you. Good morning, Rachna ma'am.
Good morning, and a huge congratulations to
Big
all of us.
Congratulations to all of you, all the icons and all the teachers for the wonderful work you have been doing.
100 days, so much has happened. Just look at, if you just pause for a minute and look back and see what all you have done in these 100 days. You will have 100 plus things to count. Different things you've done, different things you've learned, different things you've participated in. All that has been a part of us, and we are so happy to have the teachers, the kind of teachers that you have who have guided you, and the kind of students that you are. Yeah, ma'am?
Yes, wonderful students. What I feel is all the students here are ready to learn.
Yes, agreed.
When they're ready to learn, and learning will be very easy. They will enjoy learning. Absolutely. That is what I've observed in the students. They're ready learners.
Yeah.
So the teachers also find it very comfortable to teach, to
Absolutely.
bring in new things, because they're ready
Right.
to learn, they're ready to accept.
Yeah, yeah. So the culture to learn is established. They are
Absolutely.
They are all willing learners, willing to take up more and more. You know, it gives us great pride when all the teachers share with us that, generally nobody is absent for classes. People are not absent for classes. People switch on their videos. All the students try to participate as much as they can. And to top it all, tests, there were hardly any absentees. So that actually makes us feel so good, so happy that if we have willingness to teach, you have willingness to learn.
Absolutely.
So
in 100
if there
days,
is
they have built that culture to learn.
Yeah. So if there is a teacher to teach and there is a student to learn, what can stop them? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we thought with so much happening, with this happy news of 100 days, 100 very, very successful days, we thought we will have, what we've done, we've made a nice a flip book. I won't call it nice. You will tell us how it is. So Maushmi ma'am and Kavita ma'am and Shri Priya ma'am and of course Glacy ma'am have all worked together in putting together a flip book. During the day, sometime it will be shared with you by your teachers. We want you to share that with your friends and family. We want you to share our experiences, what has happened. So we've tried to put in as much as we possibly can. We've tried to put in how you worked on the competence, how you worked on the character, and then also some of you've shared how your journey has been, and some of the parents have shared their thoughts. So all that has been put together. It will be shared by your teachers a little later during the day, and when it is shared, you take that and share it with your friends and family so that everybody can know what we are doing. Yeah. And another important thing that we are starting off today is the PTM. You want to tell them something about that, Uma?
Yes, PTM is, a very important period or time duration where, the teachers, the parents and the child gets connected. Okay, so this will build that kind of a rapport for both the parents and the teachers to understand where each one of you is. This will help you in guiding, help you in supporting you to learn better, to be a better person, how you need to enhance your learning, how you need to enhance your skills. All this will help us establish, in a more finer lines of understanding. So that kind of a PTM, it's a very positive learning environment that we have. So this PTM is definitely going to build that connection between the parent, teacher, and the student.
So please make it a point that you tell your parents that attend the PTM. They may be aware of your teaching, learning, what is happening in school. They may not be aware. They may be involved. They may not be involved. In any case, they should come for the PTM, meet the teacher, and we would request, as we have already mentioned in the letter, tell them to write down their points, because time is limited. We do not have so much of time for the PTM. Time is limited, but if it is effectively used, it's good enough. 15 minutes is a good enough time if it is effectively used. So it'll be effectively used if your parents have the questions in mind, they are ready to ask those questions. And the marks we've already shared on the parent portal called the MCB. Marks are already there. How to go into the parent portal is also very clearly explained. The letter has been put in the GCR or MCB. If you haven't seen, please see and tell your parents to have a look at the marks, because the interaction with the teacher is not going to be only about marks. The point of interaction is you, not your marks. So tell your parents they should see that and come and join us starting from today. Slots have been given. Please tell them to be punctual, because slots have been given. If one parent is not punctual, then you don't get as much time. Okay. So that's about PTM.
So, Rachna, I just want to add one thing about the PTM. So in these 100 days, a lot of learning has happened for the students, right? So all the weekly tests are over, the strand test, trimester test, everything is over. And also after the test, the teachers have discussed the paper also for them to understand, what did they do right, what did they not do right, how they need to fill those gaps.
Absolutely.
So I would suggest to all the students that, have a discussion with your parents today, tomorrow, according to your slot before the PTM. Do discuss how the learning is happening for you. Spend at least good 30 minutes where you can explain your parents how the learning is happening, how focused are you or not focused are you. If you have done any errors or any mistakes, it's okay. We better learn from those mistakes, and do assure your parents that you will not repeat those mistakes. Just in case your marks are less and you're not happy with your performance for any reason, do try to analyze what could be the gaps. If you discuss with your parents, probably the PTM would be more effective, more fruitful. Right, Rachna?
Yeah, true, true.
And together, as a team, parent, teacher, and the student, as a team, we can really build on that learning goals for the students.
Yeah. For better learning, for you to be a better person, it definitely has to be a teamwork between home, that is the parents, the school, that is all of us, and you. Together, we will make everything possible. Recently, since the PP and the early primary students are there with us, we must also share with all the others that they had a PTM happening, and we got very good reviews, and that made us feel very good. So I must say, all the time we have discussions, there are very nice things coming back from all of you, which makes us feel very good and very happy. And we are looking forward to the next 100 days and the next 100 days and the next 100 days to be as fruitful and as fulfilling as the last few days have been. So having said that what the past has been, and now let's look at what does the future hold. For the future, 1 month later, we have 2nd October. 2nd October is Gandhi Jayanti. And all of you must have heard that we have something called as Mantras of Mahatma. In the school, we do use something called as Mantras of Mahatma. You must have heard a little bit about it here and there.
Yes, I am not sure. In the month of March, April, when we reopened the session, they had a kind of a tuning in for this Mantras of Mahatma through the schoolhouse. So probably they will be able to recollect now, or recall what all discussions have happened to all the students who were present during the March, April session. So I think, now it is going to add on to their understanding.
So the first question that comes up is, why Mantras of Mahatma? Why should we have it? So, when we start looking at what is it that we want to give you from the school, what is it that is required from the school, what is it that we want you to grow up as? We wanted you to grow up as people who believe in peace and harmony. That's something that is very important for us. And in this world where there's so much happening, and there is definitely a need of people who are at peace with themselves, with the people around them, with the society, with the world, and they can bring that harmony in the world. So when we looked at that, we found the answers with Mahatma Gandhi. And how did we do that? So Gandhiji was there so many years ago, 75 years ago, when we got the independence, and he was highly instrumental in bringing the freedom from the Britishers. So what did he do? He had certain principles which in Hindi can be called as mantras. So he had these mantras which he used very effectively to bring, to help in the freedom struggle without too much of bloodshed. So he did not believe in bloodshed. He believed in peace and harmony. And using these mantras, he was able to, he was instrumental in getting the freedom for the country. We thought, why not use those? But yes, one thing is for sure, that time, the context was different. What was needed to be done was different. The problems were different. But problems are there even today. You go out in the world, there are problems, there are issues, there's no peace, there is no harmony, people are fighting, there are disputes. There's so many things that are happening. Within yourself, there are disputes. There are various things that are happening. So we thought, why not we reinterpret the mantras? Why not we re-understand the mantras and use those mantras to solve the problems of today? You know, it's like this, that when you learn addition in one particular grade level, but you carry on using that concept of addition over the years, all through your life, in different contexts, applying it in that context for solving the problem that you have at that age, right? It's the same thing. You use the same concept of what Gandhiji used then at the time of independence, reinterpret them, understand them for today's problems, and find solutions for today's problems. That's what we are looking at from the mantras of Mahatma. Yes, Suma, anything else you would want to add on that?
Yeah, like as you said to what you have said, Rach, I would like to add mantras are nothing but it's a magic word. 5 magic words that we have, which are going to make all the difference for yourself and for the people around you. Right, Rachna?
Yeah, absolutely.
And these 5 mantras, you have to connect to these because these are the magical words. We have, in your lower grades, you learn these 3 magical words: please, thank you, and sorry. But these 5 magic words actually will build your personality, will build your character, will build who you are. So these 5 mantras are very sanctimonious for us, for each one of us. So I'm sure with a little more understanding, they will be able to apply it, understand it first, and start applying it and start making connections to what they are, who they are, and how to bring it in their everyday life.
Yes. So Gandhiji's one of the very famous quotes is, be the change you wish to see in the world. Exactly. If you wish to see a change in the world, you have to be a part of it. You have to bring it. You have to first bring in that change in yourself and then ask the world to change and then bring that change in the world. So be the change you wish to see in the world. It's a very, very important thing. And at any context, in any point of time, if you try to look at it, you will find a lot of answers when you look at this quote saying, be the change you wish to see in the world. And to help you bringing that change in yourself, the people you interact with closely, to the bigger world outside, the 5 mantras, the 5 magic words, which Uma ma'am was saying, are Swaraj, Swadesh, Satyagraha, Sarvodaya, and Swadharma. These are the 5 words. Ma'am, Uma, would you want to repeat it so that it gets into their
Yes,
thing?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, how will they remember?
Yeah.
One is Swaraj. Okay, Swaraj. Second one is Swadesh. Third one is Satyagraha. Fourth is Sarvodaya. And fifth one is Swadharma. These 5 magical words are going to make all the difference to you. So here we go. A little more detail, making you understand what are these 5 magical words all about.
So we'll first talk about a little context of how he brought it, and then we'll say what it means in Silver Oaks, how Silver Oaks has really interpreted it. So Gandhiji, when he said Swaraj, he meant self-reliance. He meant that the country should be self-reliant to be able to produce its own goods, to be able to do its own things on its own. Only when the country and each countryman is self-reliant, then we can bring a change in the country. And when he said that, he also talked about people who are non-violent and people who have values and respect for self and respect for others. This is what, when he said, so to bring in that political independence, he first said, let's bring in Swaraj in ourselves. In that, if you have seen Gandhiji with the charkha, he was spinning his own cloth, which he wanted to use. So that was self-reliance. That is, we are not depending on the outsiders to do things for us. We can do our own things ourselves. That's what it means, that being self-reliant, having self-respect, and also being fearless, having a lot of integrity and of also being fearless. So when we look at what we do in Silver Oaks, if you look at all the cultures, they are talking of being self-reliant. Culture to live, lead, learn, trust, work. All of them are for you to make yourself a better person. And the next thing that comes in is the courage. Can you think of one line that you've been using always, all the time to talk about courage? Since we can't hear you, we assume that you're saying this. That one line that we always use is the motto of the school, where the mind is
without fear and the head is held high.
If you have your own self-respect, if you respect others, if you believe in doing the right things, if you do things in the right way, then you have the courage to have your mind without fear, and your head is held high. So that's about Swaraj. Over the period of time, in the next few weeks, you will be discussing and learning and doing a lot more about each of these. But we will just go through them as a quick glance. So I hope with this, we have got some basic understanding about Swaraj. Okay.
Rachna, I just want to add to what is Swaraj, a little more to what you have said. Swaraj is also all about, self-control and self-discipline. Yes. How you need to, in doing all these so many multitude of things, Swaraj is also about self-control and self-discipline. Okay, we should know what we are doing, what is right, what is not right. Do we have a control over our mind, or do we get influenced very soon by others? That's very important to understand, because we need to have a control over our mind. Otherwise, it will tell us, okay, one friend is telling this, one friend is telling that, I can do anything. No, but what are you? What do you want to become? That's very important. So having that self-control and discipline in yourself will build in that Swaraj in you. So Swaraj means self-control and self-discipline. If you have this in you, you can do multitude of things.
And the next comes in is Swadesh. Swadesh. That means let's be an independent country. Let's have a self-governing country, a self-reliant country, and be self-sufficient. That's what Gandhiji meant when he said Swadesh. He said that everybody has a right to livelihood, and using the right form of livelihood is the way to lead yourself and your country. It doesn't mean that you reject things which are not Indian, which are not Swadeshi, but you have your own stand on your own self. Be able to govern your own self, be self-reliant, and be self-sufficient. That's what Gandhiji meant. And that is why he talked about something called as beautiful trees, that in villages, people were taught. So in smaller, hamlets and villages where people lived, the young people were taught the skills of that village. They were taught some basic learning, plus they were also taught skills of that village, so that they can keep working on that and earning their livelihood from there. So that means they were not dependent on anybody, but on their own generate their own livelihood and generate their own money for living. That's what he meant to say when he said Swadesh. And what does Swadesh mean in Silver Oaks? When we are talking of Swadesh, we are saying that we are self-governing and self-reliant, and we are working together to make the country, make the world a better place. And when we think of that at Silver Oaks, we think of this thing called me and my country, we grow together. Uma, would you want to add on to that?
Yes, Rachna. So when you're talking about self-sufficiency, it means how independent you are. So if they start analyzing themselves, am I capable of doing? Am I capable of listening carefully and understanding what my teachers are saying? They should start, each and every one of you should start thinking on these lines. Am I capable of listening and understanding? Am I able to, analyze and again, recall and remember what my teacher has explained? So this is one kind of a thing where you are self-sufficient. If you're not, ensure that you start building on that quality of being independent, self-independent, where you can analyze yourself, think and understand. If you have any doubts, the teachers are there to help you to understand, better. So as a student, you need to understand 5 things to be self-sufficient. Ask these 5 questions to yourself. Can I think and work independently on my own? You need to ask yourself. Can I avoid dependence? Can I be independent? I will take support and help of others only when I need. Till then, I will try to think on my own and do my work on my own. Also think, do I have the initiative to work? I should think and plan my own work and take the initiative to work. Am I confident to do my work? So if you ask these questions to yourself, you will find answers. And when you find answers to this, you will start working towards building all those things. And gradually you will become self-sufficient. That is all nothing but Swadesh. Right, Rachna?
Yeah. So if you look at Silver Oaks as a school, it's a very self-sufficient school. Why? Because the curriculum we make is our own. The books that we make are our own, and they cater to the needs of our students. They cater to the need of the kind of curriculum we want to have. So that's being self-reliant completely. That's being able to do something on your own. And what Uma ma'am was talking about, when you're looking at yourself, isn't that leadership? Isn't that what you did in the leadership program? Where you were trying to understand yourself. You did your SWOT. You tried to understand and then work on your own self. So these are some things which you've been doing and trying to understand. And furthermore, as we go, you will understand more about Swadesh and learn how to be Swadeshi, how to be self-reliant, self-responsible. We'll go on to Swadharma. Would you want to explain, Uma? What's Swadharma?
Yes. So the word Swa and Dharma. Swa in all these words, if you see Swaraj, Swadesh, Swadharma. Swa means self. And what is Dharma? Dharma is your work. My work I have to do. Swadharma is always, when you should understand yourself. This is my work I have to do. Should I depend on others? Should I have reminders from my parents and teachers to do this work, to do this task, to learn for the test, and to do some reading? Do I need reminders? That is Swadharma. When you are able to do your work independently without any reminders, that is nothing but Swadharma. You are executing your own values, your own dharma, your own righteousness. My work I have to do. My work I am responsible. So these are the taglines for each and every mantra that we have. If you want, you can make a note of it. At the end, I'm going to give you the tagline for each and every mantra. But that should keep you going, right? So Swadharma is all about my work, I am responsible. Each one of you ask yourself, how responsible I am? Do I need reminders? Or can I do this work on myself? Do I need reminders or no? Am I responsible for my work or not? So when you ask these questions, you know whether you are building the Swadharma in you or not. As simple as that, Swadharma. Always remember, Swa is self.
Yeah. So none of you remind the teachers, no? Ma'am, it's 8:30, start the class. It's their dharma. Yeah. And they do it.
True.
None of us, you don't remind your mother, no? Mommy, it's time for lunch. Give me, start making lunch for me. Right? You may ask her to give when you're free, but then she would have kept it ready. You do not have to tell your father, no, Daddy, I need something, so you supply me with those things. You don't have to tell your parents that. All of them do their dharma on their own. Then think about it. Why is it that somebody has to tell you, do your homework, do your classwork, switch on your camera, attend your class, Time for your class, time for your bus. Why? It's your dharma. You're a student. What is your dharma as a student? You should know that. And you should take it up on your own. What's your dharma? What is each one of us? Our dharma is what we have to do. If you look at what the vision of the school says, the mission of the school says, live for a purpose, learn to apply, lead with determination, and leave a timeless legacy. That's the dharma of the school to take you there. And that's your dharma to use school as your launching pad and to become that. Yeah. We take it as our dharma to be able to make each one of our students become that one person who lives for a purpose, that person who can learn what he has learned in classes to be able to apply, that one person who can lead with determination, and that one person who can leave a timeless legacy. My job, Omam's job, all the teachers' job, each one of us is working towards that. That's our dharma. You need to think, what's your dharma? And how well are you doing it? Are you following your dharma or you're not following your dharma? Are you taking up your soul duty very well or you're not taking it up? Nobody needs to tell you. So when we started this, when we used to talk about it, we used to say, as ma'am said, my work I have to do. Each one of us has got our own designated job. And it's our job to do that job without any reminders, without anybody. So that's why sometimes, we say, okay, if you don't want to do your homework, go ahead, don't do it. It's your dharma, your learning. If you don't want to learn, your problem, don't learn. We are not to lose, you are to lose. And that's something that each one of you needs to understand. It's my dharma, I will take it up in the right way and do it in the right manner. So that's Swadharma for you. We go on to the next, which is Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya has this tagline of universal welfare. How is it that you, I, each one of us can work towards universal welfare? So Gandhiji, when he talked about it, he said, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. How each one of us can work towards helping others. It is not enough to be your own self. It is not that if I am good, I am happy, I can eat, I can live, I can study, that's all. That's important, all right. But you also have to take care of everybody else around you. There are people who are not as privileged as you are. There are people who do not have all those things that you have. So I'm not saying give away what you have, but whatever extra you have, whatever you can manage to spare, spare that. Spare that for those who have nothing with you, nothing with them. So some of you may be aware of some of our initiatives. When we were talking of beautiful trees, that time I forgot to mention that there is this NGO called Rural Development Foundation, RDF. We as a school have been associated with RDF for last about 15, 16 years. And what do we do with RDF? RDF has got a number of schools, about 6 schools now, Uma?
Yes.
Yeah, about 6 schools and a college also, where young people in the rural parts of the state, now more in Andhra, but yeah, of the state, they study. Now, these people do not have things. They do not have, so they come to school and the teachers go to their houses and call children to school so that they want all children to learn. And once they come to school, they are served lunch in the school. All the things that are required, starting from uniform to stationery, to the lunch, to the uniform, everything is given by the school. And what is it that you and I can do? What we do is we collect money. We collect money for the students of RDF and some other students who are lesser privileged. And how do we collect money? What do you want to talk?
Yes. I hope all of you can recollect that during the leadership program, I talked about this, me and my country, we grow together. I hope all of you can recall that, because this is something where the school has taken the initiative of, for Coins for the Country, where each one of you, the students in the school are given the earthen pots. Okay, and how do you collect money? You don't collect money by going to your neighbors or relatives and friends and asking, please give some money so that it'll help others. No. The whole idea of me and my country, we grow together, that is Sarvodaya. And this me and my country, we grow together comes under this magic mantra, that is Sarvodaya, universal welfare. How I, my family, and the people in the society, how all of us live in harmony. How can we help each other? So this is where we have taken the initiative of me and my country, we grow together. And under this, we have this program called as Coins for the Country, which I have explained. I hope the senior students will be able to recall a little bit. So all the students are given the earthen pots in the month of June or July, and over the period of 6 months, they all of them collect money. But how do they collect money? They collect money by helping parents, by doing some chores in the house, okay, and also by saving the little pocket money that you get. How much will you eat, and how much can you save for people who are less privileged, who are not
Delhi.
able to get that education for them? All of you, each one of you, come from very good families, and all your parents are giving you all those comforts. But there are many children there outside in the world there that do not have this many privileges. How do they get educated? How do they get that at least one day meal? Okay, so all this is done with the help of these coins, the little coins that you collect. And you remember this earthen pot. I'll show you this. This is the pot that I have. I hope all of you can see this, right? So earthen pot is given to you, and you can paint it. You can give it different colors. This is what I have done. So what I do with this, whenever I have change with me, or whenever I feel like, okay, there is something that I have to do for my country, I add coins to this. I'll show you this. You can hear the sound. Okay, so I keep adding coins in this, and this will slowly, when the pot is full, be asked to bring it back in the month of January, so that all the coins collected from each of you, your helping hand will help others get better education, get one-time food at least. So this will help. This is nothing but universal welfare, where all of us need to live in harmony. How we can grow and how we can help our people also who are living around us also grow along with us. That is why we said, me and my country, we grow together.
And in simple words, Sarvodaya is that helping hand that you give. The pot you have seen, all of you haven't got because you haven't come to school at all. We haven't really given you the pots. Sometime when times are better and we will definitely give you the pots. But in the meantime, nothing stops you from Sarvodaya. You can start collecting.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be only coins. It can be notes. What you want to give for somebody who is not as privileged as you are, start collecting bit by bit, little by little. Every drop makes an ocean. And in the last so many years that we've been doing, as Silver Oaks, as a community, as Silver Oaks, we have already given 1.5 crores. 1.5 crores has been given. And each year we collect, and all of us collect. All the teachers, all the students, we collect. And then we put it together and we count it, and then we hand it over to somebody who can use it. So other than doing this for the RDF, we also do varied other things under Sarvodaya. We also help other people also in different ways. One of the ways is we have something called a street store, where we give away those things that we don't need. So when we do that, we will explain a little more about the street store to you. It also means conservation. Sarvodaya also means that, one, you give away what you have, what you possibly can after meeting your needs. The second thing to it is also to conserve. The stationary policy, which we talk of, where we talk of conserving the resources. So there are a number of ways we talk about conserving the resources. All that is also Sarvodaya. Because if there is only this much that is available, if there's only limited amount of water, limited amount of resources, if you waste it, the generations to come, by generations to come, you all itself 20 years later will have problems with things, because things will not be so readily available. So it is always better that you conserve today. So either you conserve, you use as much only that is required. The remaining, if they are perishable things, if there are things which need to be conserved, you conserve them. If there are things which can be distributed, you distribute them in form of money, in form of things. That's what Sarvodaya at Silver Oaks looks like. Okay, and then we move on to the last one, I think. Satyagraha. Satya Agraha. Satya ka Agraha, which means it is the truth that you're fighting for. It is that power of truth, being truthful. It is those two core values of being truthful and finding truth in everything, seeking truth in everything, to have your own ideals, but also be willing to accept others the way they are. It is again coming back to what we already talked about. It is about truth, it is about honesty, it is about satya in all that you do. So it is also about hard work. A satyagrahi will not see evil, will not see bad. He will not indulge himself in things which are not relevant, which do not hold good. He will try to see good in others, and he will try to make the best of his own self with the power of truth. Truth being the underlying factor when we say satyagraha. What do you want to add on that, Uma?
Yes, Rachna. I think going with this online classes, I think this satyagraha applies to the students a lot more. You know,
Yeah.
Most of them are very sincere, very honest. Okay, but there are times, when suddenly you get influenced for the not so right things. So, sometimes I really wonder, are the students really speaking the truth? They said internet issues, ma'am. But is that really there? Are they speaking the truth? Are they
Can't hear
having
you,
the
ma'am.
I can't hear you, ma'am. So, ma'am, I can't hear you. Ma'am, there's internet connection. My voice is breaking. I'll rejoin. I'll leave and rejoin. There are so many things that the students say, but I really wonder how many of them are speaking the truth in that. I think each one
Yes.
of you should ask that question to yourself. Do I have that satya in me? Do I have that satyagraha in me? Am I honest? Am I
Yeah.
sincere? When you ask these questions to yourself, you will definitely find your answers, and then you will be a better person. Whom are you lying with?
Yes.
You're lying with yourself. Why should you do that? What are you going to gain for that one word of being, ma'am, internet?
Yeah.
We do understand there are some genuine issues, but does it happen each time, continuously, over a period of time? Ask yourself. I think in this context of virtual learning, I think this applies a lot. Also, in how they learn, because when students switch off the camera and what they're doing behind, we do not know.
Yeah.
But what we do, we have the culture to trust. Satyagraha is all about culture to trust, coming from those 12, one of those 12 cultures where we can make connection. So, do I have that? When the teachers are trusting me, am I standing for that? Am I capable of that? Am I cheating myself or others? Keep asking these questions, and definitely you're going to build that satyagraha in you. You'll become a satyagrahi, definitely,
Yeah.
in a short period of time.
Yeah. Satyagraha is also about non-violence. Satyagraha is also about being open-minded. So when you sit in groups and you do discussions, you're being open-minded, because what somebody says, you're accepting their thought also. It's just not my way or highway. It's just not what I think is only right, everybody else is wrong. No. What I'm thinking is what I'm thinking. I am right in my perspective. You, in your perspective, could also be right. And that's called being open-minded. That's also international mindedness, where we accept people what they are saying in that context, and we believe in what they are saying. So Satyagraha is also about being open-minded. Satyagraha is also about honesty. As ma'am said, that being honest to your own self. Each one of you, there's no point in being dishonest to yourself. When you're saying anything that you're saying which is not right, the first person you're lying to is your own self. It's also about non-violence. It is also about peace and harmony. So there are different things. It's also about trust. Each time when your teachers give you a test and say, okay, do it on your, they give it to you and you're doing it on your own, it's that implicit trust. We do not have people standing and watching you. We leave it to you and your parents as to how you would want to do the test. How with how much integrity you would want to do the test, or how much do you want to fool yourself. In fact, today when you get your marks and you have your discussions with the teachers, your tests have just happened. It's a good time for you to sit and reflect for your own self. How truthful was I? Was I a satyagrahi? Did I take into consideration what's right and what's wrong and did things only which are right? Some things that you need to reflect for your own self. As we said earlier, these mantras are mantras of Mahatma, which we are imbibing in Silver Oaks. But over and beyond that, it is also about you, your own self. Each one of them are first applicable to you and then applicable to the world. So many of them have got that swa with them. Swa clearly says I. So it's about you and the world, what kind of a person you want to become, what kind of a change you want to bring in yourself to be able to bring the change in the world. That's what the mantras of Mahatma are all about. And we, all of us at Silver Oaks, believe in grooming you as contributors to the world, to bring in, to contribute in every which way. You know, there are two kinds of people. They are contributors and consumers. The consumers keep consuming in every which way what comes in and give nothing back. You look at a tree. What does a Silver Oaks tree do, or any tree do for that matter? It consumes water, it consumes sunlight, but it gives us oxygen. So there, you definitely will consume, but there is always a need in the world for you to give back. You will grow up as a person who all of us will look up to, who will live for a purpose, learn to apply. All that will come in only when you believe that you can be a contributor to the world and not only a consumer. That's what we hope for you to become. And that's why we bring in all these different things in the character curriculum of the school. So Mantras of Mahatma is a part of that character curriculum of the school, which we work on very specifically during these months of October, September and October. But also, if it is not specifically mentioned in the class, it should be there in your mind for you to always be a satyagrahi, for you always to believe in Swadesh, Swaraj, Swadharma, each one of them, Sarvodaya, each one of them, and bring out that person within you. These are all for helping you hone yourself to become a better person, yourself a better person as a part of the family, as a part of the society, and as a part of the big, big world. That's what we are aiming at. Young people who have IQ is intelligence quotient, you have the value quotient, you have the emotional quotient, and you also have the social quotient. So IQ, VQ, EQ, and SQ all should be high of our students. That's what we, the team at Silver Oaks, aspires to be. That's what we are looking at. So over the period of time, in the next coming 5 weeks, your teachers will again be discussing each mantra and dwelling on each mantra, giving you tasks on each mantra. What we want you to do is take each one of them seriously, understand each one of them with depth, and then try to bring it within yourself. Not everything will come 100%, but you can move from 1% that you are, wherever you are, to a higher level. That's what we always say in your studies also. You do not have to move from where you are to the best all the time. One step at a time. If you're able to work on yourself and make yourself a better person each day is a fruitful day.
That is what
Can
we
we
say,
close?
no? Race with self.
It's
not with others, it's a race with self.
So on that note, race with yourself, make yourself a better person each passing day. Use these mantras to make yourself and your country and your family and the world proud. Make it a nice day starting from today. Make it a nice day for yourself and for all people around you. So let's start with the mantras.
Rachna, probably, I think it would be better if we summarize all these 5 magical words, these 5 mantras with their taglines, so that students can make a note of it, and then, they can start thinking on those lines. Probably they can also start sharing with their parents.
Okay.
So children, are you all ready with a pen and a paper, pencil, and all, so that you can make some notes? So here we go. So what is the first mantra that we talked about? We talked about Swaraj. The first mantra is Swaraj. The tagline for Swaraj is self-control and self-discipline. Okay, I hope all of you are making a note of it. The first mantra is Swaraj, which means self-control and self-discipline.
Maybe Uma, you can tell them, and later teachers can make them write also.
Yeah. The second one is Swadesh, which says where the tagline is self-sufficiency. Right? Swadesh, self-sufficiency. The third one is about Satyagraha, truth and non-violence. The fourth one is Sarvodaya, that is universal welfare. The fifth one is Swadharma, which is my work, I am responsible. So these are the 5 magical words which are going to help you to be a better person. Thank you for being such wonderful people.
I forgot to mention that we as Silver Oaks, as a team of Silver Oaks, we have been working with the mantras of Mahatma from the year 2010.
Yeah.
2010 was the first time we looked at them, we reinterpreted them, and we brought it as an opera of the school. And since then, no looking back. Each one of us, 11 years.
11 years.
Yeah. Each one of us is working towards making ourselves a Satyagrahi, a Swadeshi, a person who believes in Swaraj, a person who works towards Sarvodaya, and what else? Yeah, all the 5. We work on each one of us, the adults and the young people in the school are working towards it. So now you will also start working towards it. So with that, let's wind up. Thank you, Rosie ma'am, for making it possible. Let's start working on the mantras. Let's start getting on to this the mission of mantras of Mahatma. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you, Glacy.